Archie Romero, what is Russell Wilson trying to get from the Seahawks, and what's the % chance he's traded this offseason? I think that what Wilson and his agent are trying to do is obtain some more power. It looks to me, and it's very clear that there is an internal struggle between what Russell Wilson wants to do and how he thinks the best way to win is, versus what Pete Carroll wants to do, what he thinks the best way to win is. Russell Wilson wants to throw it. He wants to air it out in 2021, which makes sense. Pete Carroll, big fan of running the football. I think that there is still a way for those two to coexist fairly easily, but in today's NFL, you got to keep the quarterback happy. A trade this offseason doesn't make a ton of sense, but by leaking all of this stuff and putting it out there, I think it's a push by Wilson's camp to obtain more power. So what do you guys think is the % chance then of a Russell Wilson trade this offseason? I'd say like maybe 5%, but I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and let me know what the % chance of, the % chance of a Russell Wilson trade happening this off season. From Evan Hughes, should we sign Patrick Peterson if we lose Shaquille Griffin? If you can get Patrick Peterson cheaper, yes, I'm on board with that idea. I don't know how plausible that's going to end up being, but I think it's at least worth considering if you're Seattle. Izzy World, is Russell Wilson an underrated diva quarterback? I mean, if we're being honest, he's kind of acting like one a little bit right now. I don't think he's a full-fledged diva. I just think that the NFL world is changing. And quarterbacks, fair or not, have a lot of power. And you should probably make sure you're maximizing them. And frankly, if you're making a quarterback the highest paid in the NFL, like the Seahawks did with Russ, you should use them and not focus on a run-focused offense like Pete Carroll did for years. Izzy World now also asks, Wilson's is either overrated or underrated. I think that's fair. It never feels like we properly rate Russell Wilson. From Mitty, trade Russell or fire Pete Carroll if you had to choose. Give me the quarterback. Both these guys are awesome. Don't get me wrong there. Pete Carroll's a fantastic coach. Wilson is a great quarterback. Who's going to be around 5 years from now? It's actually probably Russell Wilson. And if you're Seattle, you lucked into Russ. It is very difficult to find a true franchise quarterback. So if I have to choose, I will fire Pete Carroll and I will keep Russell Wilson and make him happy and be a contender like I've been for almost every single year under him. Giving you guys a chance now to be a hater. What NFL team do you guys hate the most? What NFL team can you just not stand at all? This is a safe space in the comments section. Let me know what NFL team you guys just despise the most.
If you're looking for an awesome deal, look no further. NFL shirts under $18.74. If you got a favorite team, which I imagine y'all do, go to chatsports.com/NFL shirts because they just released these new shirts and they like to call them their X-ray shirts. I think they're super dope. They come in sizes from small all the way up to 4XL. And in fact, Bronco shirts are even cheaper than $18.74. And if you're a Buccaneers fan, I've even seen $14.99. I mean, if you need an NFL shirt, usually they're $25, I believe, but they are on sale right now. They come in all different colors, all different sizes as well. Chatsports.com/NFL shirts. If you want to spam in the chat who your favorite NFL team is, please go do it. I definitely would appreciate that. One more time, chatsports.com/NFL shirts, where you can get these X-ray shirts under $18.74. But hurry, because I do know for some NFL teams they are going quick, so don't be the fan that misses out on this awesome deal. We got Elijah coming in here. Elijah, if you're a Seahawks fan, go check out the channel, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Okay, should the Seahawks sign Von Miller and JuJu Smith? So right now they got $3.54 million in terms of cap space. Their biggest needs, really, yes, you need to be able to find an edge rusher. But if I had to pick between JuJu and Vaughn, I'm going to pick Vaughn because they don't really need a wide receiver. They got DK and Tyler Lockett. I mean, you need to go out and invest in the offensive line, dude. And if you're going to go out and also invest defensive line over some of these other linebackers like Miller, I also don't know what's going to happen with Miller, so we'll wait and see. Let's go to Matt Gruber. You're next up here. Seattle trades Wilson next year after missing the playoffs postseason. I still believe that the Seahawks are a playoff caliber team. Like, if they have Russell Wilson, I just find it hard to believe that they don't make the playoffs. Like, I get it. Having 4 teams from one division make it doesn't seem likely, and with all those teams getting better and better, I'm just still believer that the Seattle Seahawks find a way to be able to get into the postseason. However, if they don't, yes, a Russell Wilson trade definitely becomes a lot more likely. So if you guys got a question and you want to get featured on our mailbag, the link is below, youtube.com/chatsportstv. You got to join us for our live shows Monday and Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. But go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell. That way you don't miss a thing. All right, Dylan Metcalf, do you think the Seahawks trading Russell Wilson would be a good move for Seattle? If Russell doesn't want to be there and if Russell ultimately thinks that he's not going to retire there, yes, I move on from him, try to get a lot more draft capital. But if I'm Seattle, you better get 3 first-round picks. Let's go to William Patterson. Are you from New Jersey? Because there's a college named after you. Should Seattle sign Kyle Rudolph? It's a pretty interesting question, and when you really talk about some of the top players that Seattle could go out and get, tight end is definitely going to be a major need there. Sure, their depth is lacking. They decided to move on from Greg Olsen. And Rudolph, I do think actually would fit with what they're trying to do. He can block, he can catch, can still be a solid red zone option. If you can get him for cheap, I'll say under $4 million a year, I would look into it. But if you give him the type of contract you gave Greg Olsen last year, 1 year, $7.5 million, that's something I just can't get behind. If you're a big-time Seahawks fan, go subscribe to our Seahawks channel. Over 18,000 subs there, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Okay, this is a fun question. Where will Kyle Rudolph play next season? There's obviously a few different options he could go. If there's a tight end needy team, they're going to be picking up the phone. They're going to be calling Rudolph there. Seahawks could definitely be one of those teams interested, but they only have $3.54 million in cap space right now. Maybe he does want to get paid a little bit of extra money, which at 31 years old, I could see that definitely being a possibility. But go down in the comments. Let me know, where will Kyle Rudolph play next year? All right, we got a Cash. What up, my man? What do you think are going to be the top 3 40-yard dashes and predict times? Let me just say this here. If you have any, 40 times, if there's no NFL Combine, you're going to see times that you just never seen before because pro days are not the same as the NFL draft. So, honestly, I'm not going to believe any 40-yard dash times. I'm just going to be honest with you. Let's go with Elijah here. What is it free agent time? So, when is it? So, March 17th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time is the start of free agency. Tampering period starts 48 hours before then. So, it's basically when coaches can start to reach out to players.
From a Cash, what other defensive lineman ranking 1 through 5 should teams be interested in? Are you talking draft? Christian Barmore's number 1. After that, it's not great. You could maybe go Levi Onwuzurike from Washington. Davion Nixon from Iowa. There's the 2 USC guys. Some of those players. It's honestly not a great defensive line draft class. Timothy Mullen, I know it's early. Who are the top prospects in next year's draft class? All I want to know is Sam Howell. I haven't done very much. The guy I love, though, I promise you right now, AO's just got 2 great receivers. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, because I watched plenty of Olave in prep for this year. Kayvon Thibodeau, the edge rusher from Oregon. This year's class, not great. Next year, though, he's going to be really good. And by the way, if you have draft questions on this year's class for now, because I'm already behind enough as it is, hit me up on Twitter at @WhatGoingDowney, and we'll do plenty of draft stuff here going forward. From Botch, which receivers are a round 1 lock and which are likely to go round 1? Thinking Chase, Smith, Waddle, Bateman are guaranteed. Moore, Toney, and Marshall possibly. I think your guaranteed locks are Chase, Smith, and Waddle for sure. I say at least one of Bateman or Toney go in round 1. And I'd say if you can pick one to be a guarantee, sure. I think Rondale Moore, Terrace Marshall, those are probably your other possible round 1 guys. I don't think Amon-Ra St. Brown goes in round 1. Frankly, I'd put the over-under of round 1 receivers probably right at 4.